Welcome back to Let's Keep Circussing, or if you only just joined us, this is your first one. Hi, welcome aboard. So we've been working with scarves. These can be made out of hankies or any light fabric, and with poi. And if you missed our first episode, you can just make these 2 long socks, 2 pairs of smaller socks, put rice inside those socks, ball them up, stick them inside the long socks, and you've got yourself a set of poi. So the idea is that we're doing some short activities that you can copy and follow along with at home, things that are going to keep your body moving, keep your brain active, and, you know, make you feel a bit happier. It's a little bit of fun in our strange times. So we're going to start with scarves today. I'm just going to start with one, and I'm going to work on my flick and snatch. So to flick it up, I'm going to make a gooseneck with my wrist. I'm just going to flick and release. And then to catch it again, I'm going to use the other hand, but I'm just going to snatch it back out the air. And that puts the hand back into that flick, that gooseneck, ready to flick. Okay? So we're going to go flick, snatch, flick, snatch. Takes a bit of effort in that flick to get it up. And obviously, the heavier your piece of fabric is, the more oomph it's going to need and the faster it will travel. Got that? I hope you're joining in. The point is you watch and you join in, so I don't feel like quite such a Nelly bean talking to myself in my bedroom, playing with scarves. Okay, then we're going to try and make it a little bit more flowy. So when you catch it, you're going to continue the line of the scarf and draw a big circle out to the side, bringing it back to the centre, and that's where you flick it again. Take it with the other hand, big circle. So what you should start to see is a huge figure of 8 laying on its side, or a big infinity symbol. And we're just flicking it round and round. Warming those shoulders up a little bit. Couple more. Great. Okay, now instead of doing figure of 8, we're going to do a circle, which means we're going to flick and then catch in the same hand, but the catch is a bit different. So we're flicking the same way, and then I turn my hand round to grab it and pull it back round to here in a circle. So we're going flick, catch, bring it round, flick, catch, bring it round. So my hand moves from here to here. So goosenecks back the other way. Have a go. And to be honest, I'm probably only really catching it between my fingers now. And once we've got the hang of that, we can make it bigger, she says, nearly dropping it. So just draw that circle ever bigger, ever bigger. So actually it becomes a spiral. Once it's really big, I'm kind of letting go about here, but making sure I still flick so that I can catch it on the other side of the circle. And then let's start making it smaller again, bringing it down. And you'll find it gets a bit faster when you get down here. See how small we can make it. Can we make it really tiny? Let's do it with the other hand. So obviously the circle needs to go the other way now. So you want to release near the midline of the body, so your arm's going to come across the body first to let go. This way is possible, but it's harder. So we're going to go this way. So flick, turn your hand, catch, draw a circle. Flick and draw. Let's make that circle bigger. And really big. And then start to make it smaller again. And then try and make it, oops, really tiny. Till it falls on the floor. How'd you get on with those? Leave me a comment, let me know. Helps me plan, and if we do something you particularly like, let me know. If we do something you're not so keen on, let me know. If you're having trouble with any of it, ask me a question and I'll get back to you. Let's move on then, and let's start working with some poi. So over the last few weeks, we've been working with the poi next to our body. I've been explaining that if you imagine you're in a narrow corridor and you want these to be parallel to you. I'm holding mine a little bit high because I have a bed here, and they just crash into the bed. So do feel free to bring your hands down a bit lower, sort of hip height. That's ideal really, but I have to have mine a little bit higher. So we're going to go back, up and over, which is a forwards motion. And this is what we described as bouncing beat. Thank you, Poi Passion, for that one. Poi Passion's where I've been going for my online classes during lockdown. They're running free classes on a Tuesday evening. They're brilliant. There is a link in the description if you want to find out more about that. So here's our bouncing beat, and then we change the time. So we do split time or alternating, where the weighted part of your poi is at the opposite ends of your circle. And what you'll find is your dominant hand generally behaves, whereas your subordinate hand, in my case my left, it all goes a bit wonky. So if you just concentrate on that bad hand, keep telling that one what to do, hopefully your other hand will just keep behaving. Okay, so let's bring it back to that bouncing beat. What we're going to try and do now is move the poi so that they come in front of us. So rather than being in a corridor, it'll be as if we're standing in front of a wall. So in order for this to happen, you have to have one going moments ahead of the other, otherwise they're going to crash. And if this is your first time, they are going to crash. They crash a lot. So I'm just turning them slightly inwards. So they're coming in at the front and out at the back. And there we go. So now they're going on top of each other. So you'll see one has to come over the other. They can't go down at the same time. So one has to be just that very slight millisecond forwards. Now don't worry too much about bringing your hands really close. As you can see, that caused mine to tangle up. That's a skill that comes later on. Let's go back to being out at the side. And just turning them round, turning them in on themselves till we're in a wall plane. That was wall plane, not war plane, by the way. So what you don't want to do is get your hands to do this, because that's just going to make your life difficult. Keep your hands where they are and use your wrists and the momentum of the poi to keep it going. Let's start again. So bouncing beat to the sides, angling them in. One is very slightly ahead of the other one, and it crosses over the top. There we go. Now let's see if we can take it back again. So angling them back out. There we go. Back out to the sides, back in our corridor. Right, let's change the timing then. So let's go alternating. Your shimmy shoulders helps me with that one. And angling them in. So they're coming across in front of your body. And then you can experiment. If this is easy, you can experiment with bringing your hands ever closer. And then see if we can bring them back again. Back to being out at the side. Let's try bouncing beat again. And angling them in till they're in front. And again, if this is becoming easy, experiment with bringing your hands closer. And then back out again and bringing it back onto your hips, back into your corridor. Alternating, split time. Angle them in till they're sort of flat in front of you, like you're standing in front of a brick wall. Bring those hands closer if you want to. And then back out again, angling them back out again, and putting yourself back in your corridor. How's that? Not too bad? If all that's happening there is they're just crashing and thumping, or you're hitting yourself with them, first of all, that's perfectly normal. Second of all, feel free to just pause and rewind and practice that for a bit longer. We're going to go on to something a little bit more tricky now. So if you're not ready for that, that's fine. Do it at your own pace. So we're in alternating split time. I've brought them in front of me, and I'm going to start to move them up. We've been doing this with our other motions, and back down. See if I can come all the way down now that I'm not about to hit my bed. And up and down. One more, go up and down. And then let's think about going out. So try and keep the timing. Mine want to change the time back to bouncing beat when I start taking them out. And bashing my wardrobe, which is helpful. And then bring them back in again. And out we go. So this is just like the scarecrows and shimmies we were doing in last week. But now we've got the poi in front of us instead of next to us. One more, let's go out. And then this time when we come in, we're going to go up. Back down. Go out. Bring it in. And up. One more. And then we're going to do something a little bit different with it. So we're going to go out. Bring it in. Take it up. But this time, you're going to open at the top. And see if we can bring it all the way back out to the side without hitting yourself in the face. And then bring it back together. So that was like a little circle. Let's try it in the other direction. So you're going to go outwards and up, and see if we can get it to come back down the middle without crashing. Angle them back round so they're back next to you, and then bring it back into that bouncing beat. How was that? All right. It is a little bit more tricky than the stuff we've been doing. Takes a bit more practice, I think, to operate them in wall plane. But don't worry, you can practice as often as you like. Right, so we're in bouncing beat and we're going to bring them back in front of us. Again, as I say, don't worry about bringing your hands too close together. You can work on that later, okay? Just so long as they're running in front of you. So let's try and take that up. And back down. And up. It's quite hard in here because I've got this lampshade there that I keep bashing. I think it's going to break. In fact, parts of it have fallen off. That hasn't been caught on camera. I mean, hitting it has been caught on camera, but not bits falling off of it. I'm a little bit concerned about hitting that. Okay, so we've done up and down. Let's try going out and in. So out. As per always, I like to step out to the side as well. You don't have to, just works for me. Bringing them back in. And out. Oops, nearly. And back in. Let's do one more. But this time, I'm going to stay here and then start lifting them up. And let's see, can we get them to come back down the middle? And we'll go up. Oh, see, there you go. What did I say? That was the lampshade. And all the way around back to here. And bring them back onto your hips. And that's your lot for today. It's quite a lot to practice. So feel free to watch this as many times as you want and practice it over and over again. And then next week we'll do some new stuff. We'll probably start doing some two scarf things, start working towards scarf juggling. And making some more patterns with our poi. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's got you up and moving. We are a not-for-profit community organisation here in Eastbourne. So we have essentially found ourselves without an income. So if you wanted to, you can donate. There's a link for that down there, but only if you want to. It's not compulsory. But what is really helpful to us is if you subscribe to the channel and give us some likes. That improves our overall visibility and ratings and makes us seem more important than we are at the moment. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you next week. Stay home, stay safe, and stay circusing. Bye.